Sausage. Hello, and welcome to another episode of First, the show where I, Marcus Nez, gives you my first impressions on a game. And this here episode is all about Infernax, a retro game, very much so an homage to Castlevania II, Simon's Quest, most of all. It is very much so just, hey, what if we took Simon's Quest and, made a good game out of it? And I know some of you are saying it's not a retro game. It's a retro-inspired game because it's not an old game. It's a new game. Well, guess what? Look up the definition of retro. It is a retro game. Y'all are using it wrong. I'm taking the word back, baby. It's not a classic game, but it is a retro game. Suck it. Great way to start the show, the episode, by telling the few people who are actually willing to watch it to suck it. But you know what? You can suck it. And you know what else you could do? Play Infernax, because it is really, really, really good. I do have a bit of nostalgia for Simon's Quest, even though I barely played any of it as a kid. I've told this story before, and I know I'm not talking about Infernax right now, but when I was young, I loved Simon's Quest. I thought it was amazing. However, I never played past the point where day transitioned to night because I was too scared. That was the most scared I ever was playing a game for the longest time. I was terrified and I never played it past that point. So I didn't really know what the game was about other than, hey, I'm hanging around in this town and everything's cool, and then it gets scary and I'm done. That's not what Infernax is. There is a day-night cycle, but it is an action platformer, very much in the vein of Simon's Quest, and has that NES style, that 8-bit style going for it. And the thing about it is, one, it plays really, really well. The mechanics are simple. You got your basic attack, you have magic that you can use, and you'll unlock spells as you earn gold that you can use to buy better equipment and spells. And what I think it does best is it's clever and surprising in ways that aren't actually surprising. The best way I can describe it is, it's like when you were a kid playing games like Simon's Quest and thought to yourself, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? And this game does that. It is funny. It is very, very violent. If you are a bit squeamish, that might be a problem. But I found it very amusing. It actually makes dying fun and made me at least seek out dying because the deaths in the game are gruesome and excessive. When an enemy kills you, they don't just kill you and then they're done with you. They will beat your dead body until it is nothing but mush, and I found that very, very amusing. But it's structured more like a later gen game, more like Symphony of the Night and Metroid, Super Metroid, that is, with the grid pace map system and save rooms and all that good jazz that if you like yourself a Metroidvania, you'll feel right at home in Infernax. And if you played in the classic difficulty or whatever the normal regular default one is, you will lose all your progress from the last time you saved, but there is a casual mode that allows you to keep most of your XP and gold earned between deaths and gives you one continue so that if you die, you can continue from where you died. But if you die a second time, you'll be sent back to the save point with the majority of the XP and gold you earned still there. I played it for maybe about an hour or an hour and a half, and I knew almost immediately that I wanted to play to completion. I, of course, stopped because it's just my first impressions I want to give you. But it plays well, looks great, fantastic music. It gets all of the things it needs to get right. You will have choices that actually matter, and apparently, I don't know because I haven't finished it, there are multiple endings that are based on your choices and whatnot, but the choices they throw at you, the way they play out, depending on what decision you make, is fun. And again, not exactly surprising in that, oh my god, I never would have thought of this ever, but surprising in a way that when something happened and it wasn't what you would expect to happen, it just put a smile on my face, even when it was a decision I made that I expected to be all good, and then it turned out to be the worst decision. And I was like, you know what? That's on me. That's on me. I don't really think I did a good job of explaining why this game is good. But it's basically Simon's Quest with clear directions, so you know what you have to do, where you have to go. You're not going to be confused. You won't need a guide with you the whole time while you're playing it. And if that sounds like a good time to you, then I think you'll have a really good time with Infernax. I also appreciate that it is very forgiving in terms of the enemy hit detection. If an enemy's limb is in the background, it's all on a 2D plane, so there aren't multiple planes or anything, but if an enemy's limb is in the background, which you can tell by the lighting, then that particular part of their body won't do damage to you if you are on top of it. And you can get pretty close to an enemy's body before it actually hits you. And that is the opposite of what I see in a lot of games. And I really like that as well. It's just a really good time and not too challenging. Again, there is the casual mode that makes it a little bit easier, and there are accessibility options, but I did not check those out just because they do warn you of spoilers that would be revealed if you were to go into that menu. So I opted not to because I was having such a good time with it. I wanted to go back and play the rest of it. So I didn't want to spoil myself. But that will do it for this here episode of First. Once again, I am Marcus Janez. Y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you'd like to see me streaming games like Infernax, you can do so over at twitch.tv/PX Sausage. If you'd like to check out the videos I make and you aren't already doing so, you can do that over at youtube.com/Pixelated Sausage. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and all that jazz. That is, again, youtube.com/Pixelated Sausage. Speaking of Pixelated Sausage, if you put a little dot and a comma after that, you've got Pixelated Sausage. I don't know what that was, but what I do know is that it's pixelatedsausage.com, where you can find more stuff like this, as well as the art I make. And if you see something you like, you can purchase a print of the piece you fancy. And if you fancy the site in general and anything that we do, please go over to patreon.com/PXS and support us that way. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye!